Hello, welcome to a short demo of how to use Zorp for your asset management and your inventory management process. Okay, so we'll start with the basics. The asset I'm going to use, there is a table called assets where you have the list of assets that you actually own. In this scenario, I've used vehicle as an asset, but it can be anything. Okay, and I can add a new vehicle just by going and adding vehicle number, choose the model, and you'll be able to add more models over here and you can see what is the status of that particular vehicle. So it is as simple as this for you to add a new asset. Okay. Now there is another capability, which is when you lease out these assets to other people. So if we have leasing out process, then you can manage all your leasing partners in one place. What are their, uh, email addresses, phone number, what vehicles have been leased to them, and who is a POC for internally to manage these assets so that everything can actually be managed directly. Okay. Now, the third section that we actually have is vehicle transaction. So vehicle transaction will show a history of which vehicles have been issued to which leasing and which vehicles have been returned from which leasing. So that entire set of records is maintained within the vehicle transactions table. All right. Now let's focus on the SKUs. So often these vehicles actually until undergo repairs or any kind of asset goes repair. And we want to make sure that we are able to perform this maintenance process. And when you want to perform this maintenance process, it's important to understand what kind of inventory gets consumed for maintaining these vehicles or assets for that matter. Okay. So here I have a sample list of SKUs in my inventory. So I can give what is the price of each SKU, what is the description, what is the safety stock, what is the reorder level, and we'll get into transactions in a little bit, and what is the on-hand quantity. The on-hand quantity is dynamically calculated. You do not have to audit every time and kind of like edit this. It will get automatically calculated. We'll get into that in a bit. Okay. And you can say which inventory is actually active for it. If you want to add a new item, let's say I want to add washer. I can say this is firepiece or not. And safety stock could be 100. Reorder level is 50. And the status is okay. It's as simple as this for you to create a new SKU. Right. So now let's get into what happens. How do I actually, what your current quantity is actually zero. So what happens when I start introducing, yeah. So what happens when I start, adding inventory? How do I add inventory to this? The easiest way to add inventory is just go to inventory transactions, create a new transaction, choose the SKU, in our case washer, and say 10 quantity has been purchased. Okay, there are other options, inward, outward adjustments, etc. In this case, we're just purchasing, and I'm the one who's actually updating it. So hit create. Now you see that 10 quantities of washer has been inverted. If you go to your SKU, you see that automatically that the current quantity is 10 for this particular washer. And the system automatically takes care of updating this internally. Now, the next one is the same operation can actually be done by people from the mobile applications. So imagine that you have somebody who manages the inwarding of these SKUs or even assets for that matter and outwarding it. So how does that process actually work? That's something we'll actually see in a second. Hope you can see the mobile application. Now imagine each of your users who are doing the inward or outward of any inventory or asset get access to a mobile application and they'll have their own separate logins. And once they log in, they'll have certain options that they can actually do. A simple, straightforward option is the asset invert. So I can say which asset actually has been inverted by, scanning the QR code if there is one. Or QR codes are also optional if you have, if you don't have a serialized inventories. I can choose the SKU type. So in this case, let's say washer. This SKU type is automatically picked up from the list of SKUs that you actually have. And I can say that, 100 quantities are actually inverted. I can take pictures and I can even annotate these pictures if there is something that needs to be annotated. Okay. And I can add certain comments saying that let's say. So similarly, I can add more and more items during a single invert. And once I'm done, just hit complete and the invert gets successful. And if you move on to your SKU details, you will see that another 100 quantity has been inverted. Okay. So this is a process that you can actually do from your mobile applications. The second one is obviously the outward of this inventory. So there is a very similar process. I can choose asset outward, and similarly, I can add what asset I need to outward. Choose the SKU type, and let's say there are 5 quantities that I want to outward. Take pictures. Save, and hit come. So output becomes successful. Similarly, you see that the current quantity will automatically reduce by 5 quantities, which we added. You will also be able to open any of these items and see the details of all the different transactions that we have been performed on this particular inventory in one single page. Right? So this is also possible. Now, the last part is imagine that a particular asset is broken down. So how do we go into the maintenance process and how do we track the inventory that is consumed during the maintenance process? Okay. So I've created a separate table for this called maintenance work orders. So in this list of maintenance work orders can be automatically created based on a specific schedule. That means if you want to perform an asset management or asset work order every single week, that is possible, or every single month. So we can actually schedule that. But for this demo purpose, let me just create it manually as an ad hoc one. I can schedule it for a specific time. So let's say today, 1 p.m. And I can say this is a, let's say, advanced maintenance. Maintenance status is pending. And vehicle is, I'll choose one of these vehicles. Okay, but it could be any assets for that matter. So hit create. I see all the details are actually okay. And finally, when I'm ready, I just hit create task. Okay. So once I create the task, you will be able to see a notification coming from coming to the user saying that a task has actually been assigned. So they can open the app. They will see that there is an asset maintenance task that is actually pending, which is in pre-inspection stage, and it is scheduled for 1 p.m. today. I can open this task. I will see the asset details. What is the work order ID, the asset ID, what is the maintenance type. If you want to add more information over here, that is possible. I can take some pre-inspection images and I can take multiple of them. And as I said, I can actually annotate and say, like, these are the problems that I actually want to fix. Are there any comments? Okay, begin maintenance. And once I begin maintenance, I can take some pictures to say the inspection is completed and what parts have been changed. You can cover the list of items that need to be completed for you to complete this checklist, and post-inspection comments if there are any. Okay. And I can also add what inventory has been consumed, like for fixing this packaging. I can choose the washer. And it's 5 rupees. I can even see the price at the same time. I can't edit the price. I can see that 3 washers have actually been consumed. And let me add one more, which is, let's say the nuts have been consumed, and let's say 3 again. Okay. So once both the inventories are actually added, I finish maintenance. Okay. So I can see all the details of the maintenance and my job is actually done. If I go back to the maintenance work orders, I see that the work order has been completed, and I can go to the inventory transactions and see that nuts and washers have been consumed 3 quantities each through this operation called consumption. And the details of all the maintenance activities, including the pictures that is done, is available over here. So you can see that 2 SKUs have been consumed. What is the price? What is the ID? We didn't collect any images. The pre-work images, including the annotation, everything is made instantly available. The post-work images and all the comments, pre-work comments, post-work comments, what the type of maintenance, what checklist has been completed, all of those things, all of those information are also available to you to look at it right away. Finally, you also have a timeline view of who did what at what point. For example, pre-inspection was started at 11:50 today. Post-inspection was at 11:51. And that's and by this is automatically created. This is created by updated by me from the mobile application. So all these details are made instantly available to you and your team for you to manage all your assets. The last bit of things is for team and user management. So Zorp provides a comprehensive team, user, and role capabilities where you can define what all teams you have, what permissions they have within the Zorp application, what do they see when they open their app, can they have access to this dashboard, and within this dashboard, what activities can they perform. So everything is completely configurable within the platform itself. Okay. So hopefully this makes sense. These are some high level items. There can be a lot more customizations and a lot more capabilities can be introduced based on your requirements. But this forms the basics of how inventory and asset management works in Zorp. Thank you.